leaps misses, lands in a pile of already fallen leaves. The leaf dances just above his nose. Whiskers sits back, watching it sway. A breeze carries it away. He blinks slowly and smiles. Moral: some things are prettier untouched. A glowing firefly got stuck in a spiderweb. Whiskers, who normally bats at annoying lights, paused mid-swipe. Gently pulled the web with his claws, freeing the firefly. Licked his paw. Ignored the firefly, now circling his head like a tiny halo. Finally, Whiskers napping in the grass illuminated by a very persistent firefly. Do like for Whiskers, new friend? Whiskers watched a duck glide across the pond. Calm, smooth, effortless. You make floating look easy, he meowed. The duck replied. Above water, I'm grace. Below, chaos. Whiskers chuckled. So, we're all paddling under the surface, huh? The duck nodded, just quietly. Moral: everyone's struggling somewhere, even those who seem calm. Whiskers spots a squirrel burying one perfect acorn in the park. Sign says, Winter Prep Zone. Disaster. He digs up all the acorns, stuffing them into a stolen shopping bag. Bag rips acorns, roll into a pond. Squirrel calmly fishes out just one. Karma. Whiskers slips on the last acorn, landing in a pile of leaves, shaped like a L, for loser. Moral: greed fills your hands, but empties your dignity. Whiskers spotted a tortoise stuck between stones. Need help? Rock on legs? He teased. The tortoise didn't laugh, just looked tired and old. Whiskers gently pawed the rocks aside. Slow, careful, silent. The tortoise finally moved, paused, and nodded. Whiskers didn't need thanks. Just a glance was enough. Moral: kindness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just there. The village's last tomato crop was dying. No bees to pollinate. Whiskers, who just wanted sun-warm naps in the field, helped. Stole the baker's honey pot, dipped his tail in it, then napped among the flowers. Bees followed his sticky trail. Perfect pollination. By harvest, the tomatoes thrived. Whiskers? He claimed it was an accident, but the farmers now leave a ripe one daily on his wall. Moral: even laziness can bloom into help. A child cried as his red balloon floated just out of reach, tangled in tree branches. Whiskers yawned from his fence post. In one fluid motion, he climbed the tree, with much complaining, bit through the string, dropped the balloon directly onto the dog's nose. As the dog sneezed and the child laughed, Whiskers licked his paw. His tail flicked when he whispered, "Thank you." That evening, an extra tunic appeared on his fence post. Whiskers gets fitted with a GPS health monitoring collar. He was not happy. His response? Phase 1. Chews through the strap, attaches it to a pigeon. Phase 2. Owner gets alerts. Your cat is flying at 30 miles per hour over downtown. Finally, programs it to send 400 hungry notifications daily. Finally, owner tossed the collar in frustration as Whiskers smugly drags a whole salmon. Whiskers. Tracking terminated. Drop a comment below. What would your cat do with a smart collar? Whiskers, the orange tabby, earned a bold wish. Chasing a squirrel in his lively village, he tumbled from a tree after a speedy bump. A wise owl offered one wish. Whiskers wished for healing. Whiskers' 4 forehead stitches glowed, stronger than ever. Note: hey subscribers, today, a young boy on a bike accidentally hit me, leaving 4 stitches on my forehead. I'm okay, but kids, please don't ride bikes on busy paths, safety first. A baby bird tumbled from its nest. Whiskershoe considered birds snacks, paused his sunbath, nudged it onto a leaf, dragged the nest down with his teeth, pretended to ignore the mother bird's grateful chirps. Do subscribe for more Whiskers helping stories. Whiskers finds a dog's buried bone in the park. A sign says private property. Whiskers commits the crime. He digs it up, drags it away, trips on the bone, face plants into mud. The dog calmly takes it back. The twist: dog buries it in the same spot as Whiskers watches, defeated. Whiskers, muddy, glares at dog. Moral: stealing just gets you dirty. Whiskers got a new blanket. It was soft, but smelled weird. He refused to sleep on it and sulked all day. That evening, he saw a stray kitten shivering outside. Whiskers dragged the blanket to the door, meowing, and gave it to the kitten. The kitten curled up, Purring. Moral: what you reject might be a blessing to someone else. A baby rabbit got swept into the creek during a storm. Whiskershoe thought rabbits were overrated snacks. Still sprang into action. Used a floating log as a raft. Fished the rabbit out with his tail. Groomed it aggressively. By dusk, the rabbit hopped away, but now leaves exactly one perfect carrot on Whiskers' doorstep each morning. Moral: even predators can spare a life. Deep in the overgrown lot behind the fish market, Whiskers discovers a glowing flower, the last of its kind. The alley cats whisper, "One petal, one wish." But Whiskers has a better idea. Night 1. Trains a raccoon to stand guard. Pays him in expired sushi. Night 2. Builds a pulley system from stolen shoelaces. Finale. Harvests all the petals at once just as the local stray dog gang arrives. Now Whiskers fleeing through the streets, flower clenched in his teeth, chased by furious dogs. He dives into a bakery, chimney emerging, covered in soot, but victorious. Moral: wishes are overrated. Survival is forever. Whiskers chased a glowing firefly through the night garden. "Why do you shine?" he asked, mesmerized. The firefly blinked midair. To remind the dark it doesn't win. Whiskers sat back, watching her glow. "No cape, just courage," he whispered. Moral: even the smallest light can fight the dark. Whiskers, the orange tabby, kindled a hope that'll stir your soul. A weary butterfly drooped, its wings too heavy to fly. Whiskers gently fanned it with his tail, whispering a soft purr. The butterfly soared, painting the sky with color. Creatures gasped, lifted by Whiskers' quiet faith. Moral: a gentle nudge of hope can set hearts free. Whiskers meticulously plans his day on a tiny cat planner. 1. Nap. 2. Steal chicken. 3. World domination. Falls asleep on step 1. Sleep kicks the chicken off the counter. Wakes up to the dog eating the chicken. Whiskers stares at his ruined plan, then shrugs and knocks the planner into the trash. Lesson: overplanning kills joy. The best moments are unscripted. Do like if you agree with this lesson. Whiskers sees a tiny puppy crying on the sidewalk. Whiskers grumbling, too loud. Must fix." He leads the puppy home by tugging its leash with his teeth. Stops at a fire hydrant to let it pee. Drops the puppy at its doorstep and walks away. The happy owner cheers. Whiskers pretends not to care, but steals an extra treat from their porch later. Lesson: even small help matters. Do like if you agree. The vacuum roars to life. Whiskers' fur stands on end. Whiskers said, "That thing ate my favorite toy. Today, it pays." He pounces onto the vacuum's back like a rodeo champ, gets spun in circles, claws dug in like a furry exorcist. The vacuum crashes into a shelf, knocking over a plant, which lands right on the off button. Silence. Whiskers, dizzy but victorious, stumbles away. Whiskers said, "I meant to do that." But Whiskers sees the toy, unharmed, under the couch the whole time. Lesson: sometimes the enemy you're fighting isn't the one who wronged you. Do like if you agree to the lesson. Whiskers spotted a viral trend cat's making music. Easy money, he thought, buying a tiny piano with his last $500. But when he live-streamed, his song sounded like a fork in a garbage disposal. 0 viewers, 0 sales, just 1 comment. Press stop. The next day, Whiskers noticed the cricket from their yard singing beautifully. "Team up," he said to the cricket. Together, Whiskers on piano and the cricket on vocals created a jazzy tune that actually went viral. Lesson: trends fade, but collabs with talented are priceless. Do like if you like this collab. Whiskers' Do Nothing Zen Studio went viral for its one rule: just copy the cat. Sunbeam meditation. Clients learned focus by watching him track dust motes for 20 minutes. Purring breathwork. Sync your breathing to his rumbles. Equals instant calm. Box philosophy. If I fits, I sits. Your stress doesn't fit. Let it go. The finale? A stressed CEO achieved clarity after mirroring Whiskers' epic tail chase fail. Moral: peace isn't complicated, it's already in your cat's silly habits. Do like and subscribe if you loved Whiskers' advice. When a terrible storm wrecked all the fishing boats, Whiskers discovered something sparkling in the tide pools. a mermaid's compass that only worked when held by someone pure of heart but terrible at navigation. Determined, Whiskers led his boat straight into a school of dancing dolphins. "Wrong direction," laughed the mermaid, popping up. But the dolphins drove so many fish toward the boats that Whiskers caught more than ever. The mermaid gifted Whiskers the compass, now permanently stuck, pointing to where the fun is. Getting lost is just how adventures begin. Do like if you love this Whiskers adventure? When the local dogs started hoarding all the park treats, Whiskers devised Operation Woof. The disguise, mud stripes, and a socktail. The training, learn to almost fetch. The infiltration, joined their bark brigade and uncovered the stash location. The twist? The dogs were saving treats for puppies after a storm. Guilt-ridden, Whiskers used his cat skills to build a rain-proof treat vault. Negotiate a 50-50 split. Moral: even undercover spies can have a change of heart and snack priorities. When Whiskers heard tiny mews from a storm drain, he sprang into action. A litter of kittens had gotten stuck after chasing a bouncing ball. With no humans nearby, Whiskers built a rope ladder from shoelaces, taught the kittens to climb using a dangling keychain as practice prey. By sunset, all kittens were safe, napping in Whiskers' cardboard fort. The local fire chief, a golden retriever, awarded him a medal made from a bottle cap. Moral: heroes don't need capes, just cleverness and spare shoelaces. Like and subscribe for Whiskers' heroic act. Whiskers planted one single sunflower seed in a cracked teacup. Every day he watered it and sang to it the meows songs. Weeks later, "Wow, a sprout," he said. It barely reached Whiskers' chin, but he threw a harvest party anyway, inviting stuffed animals for a grand feast of one treat crumb. Great things grow from small silly starts. If you agree with Whiskers, do like and subscribe. Whiskers noticed the neighbor's prize-winning pumpkin the size of a boulder, just sitting there, begging to be claimed. Finders keepers, he thought, rolling it toward their yard. Until crack, the stem snapped, sending the pumpkin careening down the street like a runaway boulder. He thought, rolling it toward their yard. The mailbox toppled. Until crack, finally, it crashed splat. Right into Whiskers' own garden, down the street like a runaway bursting everywhere. He thought, rolling it toward their yard. Mailbox toppled. A dozen new crimes grew. It crashed, and the neighbor still doesn't know. Right into Whiskers' own garden, down the street like a runaway bursting. Some harvests rolling toward their yard. Mailbox toppled. A dozen new crimes grew. Like and subscribe for more Whiskers fundamentals. Whiskers' own garden, down the street like a runaway bursting. Some harvests mailbox toppled. Then he called and subscribe for Whiskers fundamentals. Down the street like a runaway bursting. Some harvests then he called like a down the street like down the street like instead of guarding Not every goal is big. Sometimes it's the journey that matters. Not every goal is big. Facing it too much tomorrow took desperate measures. Nine seagulls with stolen bread to herd fish ashore. Trained the butcher's dog to guard his personal stash. By dusk, the market overflowed, though 30% mysteriously vanished into Whiskers Alley. Moral: true leadership means securing your cut first. Do like and subscribe if you liked Whiskers' leadership. Whiskers the orange tabby glanced at his bowl. Just a few crumbs left. He sighed. It wasn't much. Then he saw a tiny bird shivering outside the window, hungry. Whiskers pawed his bowl toward the door, meowing softly, and placed the crumbs. The bird chirped with joy. That night, Whiskers slept on an empty stomach, but with a full heart. Moral: even a little kindness can feed someone's hope. Whiskers climbed his usual tree, but stopped. An old owl sat there, can feed someone's hope. Feathers ruffled by the wind. Whiskers climbed his usual tree, Featherface, but Whiskers asked. An old owl whisper can feed someone's hope. Feathers ruffled by the wind. Whiskers climbed his usual tree, Featherface. He just sat beside asked. An old owl whisper can feed someone's hope. Some silences don't need fixing just as usual. He just sat beside sometimes the most powerful thing you can do. Some silences don't need fixing just watch it for all. He just sat beside sometimes the most powerful thing you can do. You're slower than some silences don't need fixing. Watch it, but I still get it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do. You're slower than some silences don't need fixing. Watch it, but I still get it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do. You're slower than some silences don't need fixing. Watch it, but I still get it. Sometimes the most powerful thing Whiskers found a turtle more slower than some silences don't need fixing. Watch it, but I still get it. Sometimes the most powerful thing Whiskers found a turtle more slower than some silences don't need fixing. Watch it, but I still get it. Sometimes the most powerful Whiskers found a turtle more slower than some silences don't need fixing. Whiskers sighed as Whiskers found a turtle more faster than some silences don't need fixing. Whiskers sighed as village hunters keep disappearing. Whiskers spot some shadows dragging on his feet and tiny raccoons. Whiskers trades village hunters keep disappearing. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns higher where red trees can't reach. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns higher where red trees can't reach. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns higher where red trees can't reach. Whiskers watch them all. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns higher where red trees can't reach. Whiskers watch them all. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns higher where red trees can't reach. Just hook through them all. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns Whiskers smarting fox hiding. Just hook through them all. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns Whiskers smarting fox hiding. Just hook through them all. Has raccoons head with a paw shadows dragging on his feet and tiny lanterns Whiskers foxes are also hiding. Just hook through them all. Trust is a given. It's not why foxes are also hiding. Just hook through them all. Whiskers orange trust is a given. It's not why Whiskers are also hiding. Just hook through them all. Orange trust is a given. It's not why flowers hum tunes. A wise owl emerged, offering one wish. With a cheeky purr, Whiskers wished for endless adventures. The owl's grin widened, and poof, Whiskers soared on a magical breeze, bound for a lifetime of wild, wondrous adventures. Whiskers, the orange tabby, launched an epic rescue that'll grip your heart. One stormy dawn, in his bustling village, he heard a desperate chirp by the rushing river. A tiny sparrow clung to a drifting twig, wings soaked. Whiskers leaped onto a slippery rock, nudging the sparrow to safety with his nose. The village animals roared in awe as the sun broke through. Moral: courage to help others unites us all. Whiskers heard soft crying from a tall tree at night. It was an old owl, feeling forgotten, as the younger animals ignored her wisdom. Whiskers didn't speak. He climbed the branch and sat beside her. Night after night, he returned, just to listen. The owl began to hoot again, not sad, but proud. Sometimes, true friendship means being the one who listens. Moral: real friends don't always talk. They stay together. Whiskers found a mirror. He stared, blinked, tilted his head. Who's this majestic beast? He thought. He pawed at it, flicked his tail, posed. Then, he spotted a scar above his eye, a tiny reminder from a messy street fight. He didn't look away. He stood taller. Because Whiskers knew, the mark didn't make him weaker, it proved he'd survived. Moral: real strength isn't in hiding your scars. It's in owning them. A thunderstorm left a trembling puppy stranded under the market stalls. Whiskers, who normally hates dogs, took one look at the soggy furball and sighed. And then to rescue, stole a merchant's scarf, dragged it over as a blanket, blocked the alley entrance with crates, sat just out of reach close enough to share warmth, far enough to claim he wasn't helping. By dawn, the puppy was safe with the butcher, who now accidentally drops extra meat scraps near Whiskers' nap spot. Moral: comfort doesn't require cuddle's just proximity. Under a starry sky, a shy firefly's light flickers weakly. Whiskers watches it from a fence. Whiskers pretends to ignore it. But then he knocks over a lantern, scattering fireflies. They rise like living fairy lights. The shy firefly joins the glow, gaining confidence. The magic. Fireflies form a heart shape around Whiskers. He gently nudges the shy one with his nose. Moral: small acts ignite bright changes. Whiskers chased the butterfly, then suddenly stopped. It had landed on a flower, wings slow, tired. Whiskers sat down, ears twitching. No pounce, no swipe. He just watched as the butterfly rested. A soft breeze came and it lifted gently into the sky. Whiskers followed with his eyes, not his paws. Moral: even in stillness, we can show respect. Whiskers, the orange tabby, forged a bond that'll light your spirit. Two sparrows squabbled over a single twig, dividing the flock. Whiskers, with a playful leap, dropped a bundle of sticks between them. They built a nest together, chirping in harmony. Creatures sang, united by Whiskers' clever spark. Moral: cooperation turns conflict into shared strength. Whiskers sits outside a sushi shop with a tiny free sushi sign, clearly forged. Scam unfolds. A line of gullible cats forms. He charges them one treat per piece for entry. Secretly hoards the treats in his fake VIP lounge, a cardboard box. Karma strikes. The shop owner dumps a bucket of water on his operation. The other cats steal back their treats. Moral: scammers always meet their match. And water. Whiskers, the orange tabby, unveiled a love that'll melt your heart. A lonely hedgehog curled up, ignored by bustling critters. Whiskers paused his chase for a butterfly, nuzzling the hedgehog with a warm purr. The hedgehog's spine softened, and animals paused, hearts opened by Whiskers' care. Moral: love is giving time to those who need it most. Whiskers corners a mouse in the pantry. The mouse holds up a tiny sign. Truce, I brought cheese. Whiskers raises a paw, then sniffs the offering. Mouse darts around him, building a mini throne from spaghetti boxes. Whiskers sits on it. The twist: Mouse crowns him with a bottle cap. The other mice cheer from the walls, holding tiny Hail King Whiskers banners. Whiskers, now a confused monarch, licks cheese. Morale: even rulers need subjects and snacks. The squirrel was hungry, so was Whiskers. Whiskers found a biscuit near the garden fence. Just as he picked it up, a thin squirrel peeked from the tree, eyes wide, belly empty. Whiskers paused, then broke the biscuit in half. He gently slid one piece toward the squirrel and walked away. Behind him, the squirrel watched, then followed quietly, tail wagging. Moral: true friends don't need words, they just understand. The stray dogs had stolen Old Man Lee's last rice bowl. Whiskers, who hated sharing his alley, took revenge. Trapped the pack in the fishmonger's shed, using crab shells as bait. Returned the bowl, filled with stolen sausages. Left one dog tooth on Lee's step as a warning. Now the dogs avoid Lee's street, and Whiskers gets first pick of his dumplings. Do subscribe if you liked Whiskers' Revenge. I saw Whiskers attempt the dumbest heist of his career, stealing honey. The disaster. His paw sticks in honey, swings backward, slapping himself. Bees chase him in a perfect spiral. Whiskers dives into a pond, but it's just 2 inches deep. Whiskers' face freezes in horror, realizes he's been outpettied. Then the twist. Queen Bee drops a single honeycomb on his paw. Whiskers licks it, then smiles. Moral: even cats can't out. Stubborn nature. Whiskers leaped and crushed every tomato. He thought smashing them was harvesting. Proud, messy, and red-pawed, he sat in victory. Then he saw a squirrel tiny paw's careful grip gently twisting ripe tomatoes into a neat pile. Whiskers blinked, watched, and for once, didn't pounce. Next day, he tried using his mouth slow, clumsy, but better. That's how Whiskers learned. Not everything needs claws, sometimes it takes care. Whiskers, the orange tabby, shared a lesson that'll warm your heart. In his lively village, a young squirrel fussed, unable to find its buried acorns. Whiskers, with a knowing purr, pawed at the earth, revealing the stash. The squirrel chirped in joy, and animals gathered, learning from Whiskers' calm patience. His wisdom lit their way. Moral: patience uncovers life's hidden treasures. Some things fall so we can learn to rise. Whiskers found a small feather on the ground, soft, still warm. Above, a sparrow sat on a branch, lighter now. Whiskers looked up. The sparrow chirped once, then flew. The feather stayed behind, peaceful. Not all losses are endings. Some are beginnings in disguise. Whiskers wandered into a quiet cave. He meowed, and heard his voice bounce back. He meowed again, louder. The echo returned louder. Then he whispered, and the cave whispered too. He sat still, ears twitching. Sometimes, the world gives back exactly what you send out. And in silence, Whiskers learned. Speak gently, it matters. Whiskers paused. The hedgehog didn't flinch. Whiskers spotted the tiny hedgehog curled up by a leaf, but slowly. No pounce, no hiss, just soft eyes. The hedgehog peeked out, unrolling bit by bit. Whiskers gently laid a fallen berry beside it, then walked away, tail flicking once in calm. Moral: kindness doesn't need applause, just space. Whiskers, the orange tabby, lit up his village with a selfless act. One chilly evening, he found a glowing firefly jar under a willow. A shivering hedgehog nearby looked longingly. Whiskers nudged the jar over, its warm light wrapping them both. The hedgehog's smile shone brighter than the glow. Village critters gathered, warmed by Whiskers' deed. Moral: sharing what you have spreads warmth to all. A single golden leaf clings to a tree. Whiskers bats at it, but it flutters out of reach. Whiskers struggle to climb the trunk, but the branch bends, leaps, misses, lands in a pile of already fallen leaves. The leaf dances just above his nose. Whiskers sits back, watching it sway. A breeze carries it away. He blinks slowly and smiles. Moral: some things are prettier untouched. A glowing firefly got stuck in a spiderweb. Whiskers, who normally bats at annoying lights, paused mid-swipe, gently pulled the web with his claws, freeing the firefly, licked his paw, ignored the firefly, now circling his head like a tiny halo. Finally, Whiskers napping in the grass illuminated by a very persistent firefly. Do like for Whiskers, new friend? Whiskers watched a duck glide across the pond, calm, smooth, effortless. You make floating look easy, he meowed. The duck replied, above water, I'm grace. Below, chaos. Whiskers chuckled. So, we're all paddling under the surface, huh? The duck nodded, just quietly. Moral: everyone's struggling somewhere, even those who seem calm. Whiskers spots a squirrel burying one perfect acorn in the park. Sign says, Winter Prep Zone. Disaster. He digs up all the acorns, stuffing them into a stolen shopping bag. Bag rips acorns, roll into a pond. Squirrel calmly fishes out just one. Karma. Whiskers slips on the last acorn, landing in a pile of leaves, shaped like a L for loser. Moral: greed fills your hands, but empties your dignity. Whiskers spotted a tortoise stuck between stones. Need help? Rock on legs? He teased. The tortoise didn't laugh, just looked tired and old. Whiskers gently pawed the rocks aside. Slow, careful, silent. The tortoise finally moved, paused, and nodded. Whiskers didn't need thanks.